He fought side by side with his childhood party, climbing all the way up to S rank. But just when they finally made it, he was kicked out of his own party. What hurt even more was that the fiancée he loved turned out to be cheating and even slept with his childhood best friend. His life crumbled in an instant, but fate had other plans. One day, he bought a young slave who unexpectedly became a new light in his life. Even though he had to start all over again from the very bottom with that little girl, he believed that one day he'd surpass his former party. Yo, welcome to Ritsu channel. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps a lot for the growth of this channel. Alright then, let's jump right into the story. Toru Iben, a member of the S-rank party led by the hero Sign, stood amid the blazing chaos of battle. His team was fighting desperately against a monster, and Toru managed to save his fiancée, Lisa, from a deadly attack. To Toru, they seemed like childhood friends who trusted each other and shared the same dream, or so he thought. But everything shattered when Sign suddenly said, "Toru, you're fired from this party." Toru froze in disbelief, demanding an explanation. But Sign calmly replied that it was for Toru's own good. Lisa joined in coldly, saying, "Your level is too low compared to us." Those words pierced Toru's heart, especially when he noticed the ring on Lisa's finger, one that wasn't from him. Lisa quickly tried to hide her hand, but that only confirmed his worst fears. The other party members stayed silent, as if complicit in the betrayal. Rage and despair boiled within him. His trusted friend had betrayed him and slept with his fiancée. Unable to take it anymore, Toru punched Sign. The tavern erupted in chaos, Scene's allies attacking and throwing Toru against the wall. Lisa, helping Sign, spat out her final cruel words. "I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Don't ever come near us again." And with that, Toru was left alone, humiliated and broken. Outside, the rain poured heavily, as if mourning his fate. Toru wandered aimlessly, staring at the ring he once gave Lisa. Beautiful memories flashed through his mind, but they all shattered under the weight of heartbreak. In despair, Toru screamed into the storm, pounding the ground as his tears mixed with the unending rain. It was a cry of grief, anger, and loss. But amid his despair, Toru decided to move forward. When he opened his status screen, his level was far lower than his former teammates. He had many skills, but most seemed useless. Just small buffs and one mysterious ability even experts couldn't explain. Toru thought, if only I had a skill as powerful as Scene's, maybe none of this would have happened. I've always been just a burden. As he drowned in his thoughts, a black demon hound appeared from the shadows, bearing its sharp fangs at him. Without hesitation, Toru drew his sword, ready to fight. The battle ended quickly. With a single powerful slash, he cut down the demon hound. But then, something unexpected happened. A blinding light enveloped his entire body. An enormous surge of energy coursed through his body. Notifications flooded his mind. His level skyrocketed to 300. His sword transformed, now bearing the name Dragonfall. Toru stood in silence for a moment, then laughed in relief, collapsing onto the grass. With newfound power and a clearer mind, Toru vowed to travel the world. He wanted to heal his broken heart and live for himself. His journey began in a bustling frontier city called Armen. As he wandered through the city, his eyes caught a slave shop. Deep down, he was still haunted by betrayal. Maybe I need someone I can trust, he thought. Despite his hesitation, Toru stepped inside. The merchant greeted him kindly. Toru said he needed a slave to accompany him in battle. The merchant offered a few races, including a large, intimidating lizardman worth 30 million, but Toru wasn't interested. Next, he was shown a beautiful elf girl with pale skin and shining long hair. But she cost 25 million, while Toru only had 1.5 million. Eventually, the merchant led him into a dark, shabby room filled with small cages. Inside were weak, sickly creatures. But in one of the cages, Toru noticed a small girl with dog-like ears and messy long hair. Their eyes met, and the little girl gasped in surprise. The merchant was just as surprised. The girl could see Toru's level, and her eyes widened at the number 300. Curious, Toru asked, "How much is she?" The merchant replied, 110,000. Toru knelt down and gently asked, "What's your name?" The little girl whispered softly, "Kaida." Something about the girl felt different. Without hesitation, Toru decided to buy Kaida. Once the contract was activated, a magic mark appeared on her chest, the sign that their bond was now official. Toru carried Kaida out of the shop, reassuring her that she was safe now. He brought her to a doctor for a checkup and learned that Kaida wasn't fully human. She was suffering from a rare disease that could only be cured by a dragon's heart. Without hesitation, Toru vowed to save Kaida. He set off into the forest where the last dragon was sighted. Along the way, goblins who saw him backed off in fear. They could sense the overwhelming power radiating from within him. Suddenly, a massive roar echoed through the forest. Toru sprinted toward the sound and froze. Before him stood a giant dragon with shimmering scales and mighty wings that whipped up a storm with every beat. Without fear, Toru challenged the dragon to a duel. Its tail slammed into the ground, shaking the forest, but Toru dodged swiftly. In the midst of battle, memories of betrayal flashed through his mind, fueling his determination to win. "I won't be weak anymore," he muttered. With one devastating slash, he decapitated the dragon, cutting off its tail and even splitting part of the cliff behind it. Toru looked at his sword and whispered, "So this is the power of level 300. Afterward, he took the dragon's heart and returned to the inn. There, he gave the medicine to Kaida. Her condition slowly improved, though she was still weak. Toru looked at her and smiled with relief. The next morning, Toru woke up to find Kaida sleeping peacefully beside him. He smiled softly, then quietly got up and brought a piece of dragon meat to the inn's kitchen. The chef was shocked. Dragon meat wasn't something one saw every day. The chef quickly prepared a luxurious meal using the meat, dragon steak, and dragon burgers. Toru ate heartily, saying it tasted incredible. After breakfast, he returned to his room and found Kaida already awake. Kaida looked at him curiously and asked, "Master, what did you bring?" Toru smiled and handed her a plate of food. "It's your breakfast, a dragon burger," he said. Kaida took a small bite, and her eyes immediately sparkled with joy. Toru chuckled at her reaction. "Looks like we need to buy you some new clothes," he said. Kaida blushed, realizing her clothes were torn and worn out. After eating, they headed to the city market to shop. Toru picked out a few outfits for Kaida, while the little girl shyly tried them on. Afterward, they stopped by a weapon shop. "Are you sure you don't want a magic staff?" Toru asked. But Kaida confidently chose a pair of iron fans and held them up proudly. Toru hesitated for a moment, but seeing how skillfully Kaida wielded the fans, he smiled in satisfaction. They then strolled through the city and stopped by a food stall. Kaida glanced at the snacks being sold, her eyes full of curiosity. Toru looked at her and asked, "Do you want some?" Kaida nodded shyly, and they bought a few snacks, sitting together on a bench. "Eat as much as you want," Toru said with a smile. Kaida replied softly, "Thank you, Master." Toru felt awkward hearing that. "Don't call me Master," he said quickly. Kaida's face immediately turned sad, her eyes glistening with tears. "Do you not like me? Are you going to abandon me?" she asked softly. Toru gently patted her head. "What are you saying? I'll never leave you. I want you to stay by my side for the rest of my life, Kaida looked up at him with sparkling eyes and held his hand tightly. "Thank you. You're the best, Master," she said with a shy smile. Toru tried to hide his blushing face. He never expected to feel at peace again after everything that had happened. Suddenly, a dark aura erupted from Toru's body. System notifications flooded his mind limit skill unlocked. He gained new abilities, magic landing, and experience multiplier. The surge of energy startled Kaida, making her nearly fall from the chair. Toru quickly helped her up, apologizing. Kaida shook her head. "I'm fine, Master." "You're amazing." Toru smiled softly and opened his status screen, shocked to see most of his skills already at level 50. He stared at the screen in silence, both amazed and confused by his newfound strength. "Kaida," he said, "is there something you want?" The little girl looked shyly at him and replied, "Soap." That night, they prepared to take a bath. Kaida hesitated and asked, "Are we bathing together?" Toru nodded casually. "Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm into little girls, okay," he said with a small laugh. As Toru helped Kaida wash up, he noticed she had 2 pairs of ears, human and animal. "What's that?" he asked curiously. Kaida replied softly, "These ears were given by God. They say it's to hear the voice of the world." After the bath, Kaida smiled brightly. Today was amazing. "I hope tomorrow will be just like this." Toru smiled back. Yeah, we'll always stay together. For the first time, he no longer felt alone. His journey is far from over. Stay tuned and see you in the next episode.